Surprise, it's Grace, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add tests for the code we wrote in the last one. So last time we were able to disable the user's ability to add items and also to delete items from the admin panel. So also we wrote a custom model class, but we didn't write any tests for this. So what we're going to do now is do just that, add unit tests for these two. So let's start with the model. So what we need to do, we need to import some testing utilities from Django. So from Django.test, import a class called test case. So this will give us access to all of those testing methods and assertions and everything. So let's write a class test model. You can call it model test, whatever floats your boat. So import from test case, and here we need to be able to create a term. So from .models import term. So good. Moving on, creating a term. Let's write a test function to test if so test correct term created, text in self, and then let's create a term. So for term equals term objects, term.object create, then we want to pass in, let's see, okay, text in the details and then the rest updated that. So you can pass in the details equals tests details edited. So then now this creates the term. So now we want to check for if it actually returns a correct string representation we expect. So this says it should return the details, meaning in this case when we do an assertion, so self dot assert equals a string representation of term, self dot term, we expect it to equal to this. So copying it, then pasting it, Python manage py test should pass, and yes, it passes. If we change something, maybe we use a capital E, should fail. It fails. So good. So that's good and well. So moving on, now we need to test this code here. So testing this code is kind of tricky in a way that we need a way to actually create these objects. So we need a way to create a request object. We also need a way to create an instance of this which inherits from ModelAdmin. So to do this, basically we need to first find a way of creating a ModelAdmin that belongs to the terms model. So to do that, let's see, let me just come over here, create a class model admin test. Then we want to also inherit from test case, of course, and of course you can structure this better, but then this should be okay also. So we need to import something that can enable us to create a model admin instance. So we're going to import something called admin site. So that comes in from Django contrib admin site. Okay, Django contrib admin site import. It's called admin site, and of course this is a capital A. So we also need to import, let's see, we've already imported the term, fine. So creating an admin site that belongs to this model, basically do something like self dot, let's see, terms model admin equals, then we want to, let's see here, admin, we need to import this also. So from, sorry guys, so from .admin import, what is it called? Let's copy paste it, import that. So then that's what we use, and then we give it two parameters. One of them is the model name, so model equals term, fine. Then we give it an admin site instance, so admin site, admin underscore site equals admin site. So when you pass in admin site, this is where the magic happens. So this takes care of creating an instance for us. Now we can go ahead and test our functions. So going on, where we wrote this basically is not like the best place to write it. So I'm going to, so as you can see, this is something we need to use while testing two functions. So it's very good we put it in a setup method that gets run first before every test is run. So dev setup text in self, okay, and then we can have this one here, fine. So this is something we can always get access to in every other test that runs. So let's write a test that tests that this function returns a false. So def test has add permission should be false. Then of course now we have to pass in self, and then we need to say self dot this terms model admin. Then we need to call this method on it. So calling this one detects in self and request. There's a challenge there, but we're coming to it. So has add permission, text in self and request. Since we are already in a function, we don't need to pass in self, so it's going to kind of pick up from this one. So here we need to find a way of providing a request object. So right now in test we don't actually have access to the HTTP request object, so we are going to kind of create our own one. So to show you how to do that, just say our request our request, and then this class basically will do for us what a request would do. So basically, as we may know, a request will have something like a user, it will have something like a request method, but basically it needs to have a user. So moving on, we're going to provide a user property to it. So when it gets created, we want to imitate it having a user. So since this class we pass in self, then pass in a user. The user can be none, doesn't matter. But when the user is there, let's see. But when the user is there, we want to set it to the user that's making the request. Fine. So this one here, we can use it as our request object, and then basically we can just do self dot assert equals and that, then this should be false. So we are going to do the same for the deletion. So I'm going to copy, paste it, then has delete, test has delete permission. So this, we just need to change this one. Oh, this passes in an object, but it's none by default, so I might not need to pass it in. So if we do that, then run our tests, python manage.py test. Let's see how that goes. So we have a challenge saying nobody would contribute admin site. Let's see. Django contrib admin site. Oh, we should be sites where we import admin site. Okay, cool. Run it again, and then they pass. Good. If we come and change something here, just to make sure we are testing the correct thing, we done it through here. Run tests again. One of them fails. Good, meaning our tests are working, and then our code is also working. So if we run our coverage tool, so coverage run source equals, let's see, term, and then manage.py test. Let's also run coverage report, so it doesn't get, not sure why. Let's see, source equals /term. Maybe I didn't need this. Let's see. So yeah, comes back as 90. Notice that it's trying to test the test. So it also goes ahead to test the migrations, which we might not want to do. So to actually disable the coverage tool looking there, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you create a file called .coverage.rc. Okay, so in here you just need to do a header here, then you write this omit equals. Now you can specify the files you want to omit. So first of all, we want to omit anything that has to do with migrations. So star migrations star comma, then we want to eliminate test.py, so you can just copy it. Okay, so we also want to hide the test file. I think that's it. Then the init files. So this we can do star init.py say init.py. Okay, cool. So I think that should do. If we run our coverage again, it passes. We are on 100. Still tests this. I have a feeling I put it in the wrong directory. It should be in the root. So if you drag it there, then run again. Wow. So runs here, but then you see all our files that we would mean to test are now tested 100%, including the admin file and then the models file. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.